Is it recording? Sure, let's go with that. Can I modify that a little bit? So I'm going to say what you said, but I'm going to write it better. Angle, or the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 4 equals 180. That's what you said. The measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 4 are supplementary. Why? Definition of what? Huh? You're dancing around it. What is the definition that says two angles next to each other add up to 180? Linear. The definition of a linear pair undoubtedly says that angle 1 plus angle 4 equals 180. Now what? You like quickly diverge from the book, so I'm making sure I don't screw this up. The book went a different way, but this is still possible. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna write it. It is angle 4 and angle 7, but something very specific about angle 4 and angle 7. And why would we write this statement?
Oh, well, angle 4 plus angle 7 is equal to 180.
The measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 7 equals 180. And then that's kind of like an identifier. Like, why do those two things equal 180? Not corresponding.
Same side.
And the reason that's true is it's the same side interior angle postulate. The same side interior angle postulate says that they're equal to each other. Not yet. So we don't really need that one. You're right. So there is some way to connect these two statements. If I read it like this. If I read it,
The measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 4 equals measure angle 4 plus measure.
the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 4 is equal to the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 7. Do you remember why? So it says if 1 equals 2 and 2 equals 3, then why does 1 equal 3? The transitive property. Okay, then what?
Measure of angle 1.
Yes? The subtraction property of equality. So in this step right here, I just subtracted angle 4 from both sides. That's called the subtraction property. Now I can put angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. Definition of congruence. That was fun. No. So, is there any way possible for alternate interior angles to not be congruent. Now, we can do this entire proof again by doing this. Why is it not on the box? I know, I'm trying to cover it. C is parallel to D, given. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. Why? Because they're alternate interior. So from now on, you can use that. You're welcome. You're welcome. If they're alternate interior angles, where are they? Congruent if the lines are parallel. Please prove that angle 1 and angle 8 are supplementary.
You want to switch this down?
Yep, it's the last one. Now you already know the answer to this proof, right? At the end of this proof, what is the shortcut you can take? What are angle 1 and angle 8? Same side exterior angles. And what do you know about same side exterior angles? They're supplementary. Remember, same side supplementary. Well, we're going to prove why it works every time, all the time. So you think you guys could flex your little brain muscles here. Statements, reasons. Okay, what's the first thing you're going to put? A is parallel to B. Get it. Now we're trying to connect somehow angle 1 and angle 7, angle 1 and angle 8 to prove that they are supplementary to each other. So you're trying to use something that you know to connect angle 1 and angle 8. You want a hint?
Angle 1 and angle 5.
That's the first place we're going to go. Angle 1 and angle 5. Well, so angle 1 and angle 5 are congruent. And why are they congruent? Because they're corresponding. Alright, this next step is a pretty elite step, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. The measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 5. Definition of congruence.
It's not a step.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have known to write that down. You probably would have skipped past that step. So the reason I know it has to switch from congruence to equality is I know what the rest of the proof looks like. Most of you guys don't. So now you know that we're talking about equality. When we talk about equality, it lets you do add, subtract, divide, and multiply. So why would I write an equality step? It's because I'm about to add two things together. So if we jumped from 1 down to 5, and we said that they are corresponding angles, what do you know about 5 and 8? They're supplementary. So I'm going to write that down. The measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 8 equals 180. And the reason that's true, definition of a linear pair. What else do you know? Or what else can you say now?
The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 180 degrees. Substitution.
Substitution. I'm taking this angle 5 out and I'm plugging in its equivalency, angle 1, that's substitution.
Can we just put angle 1 and angle 8 or something better?
Yeah. Do you know why? Definition of supplementary. Now that's tough, isn't it? Tough. I know most of you guys have your eyes in the back of your head right now. So let me show you what a proof would look like on your test. You ready for that? So do you have to use all of this nonsense to prove on your test? No. So here's what a proof would look like on your test. Let me make sure I can do it correctly. It's gonna tell you that A is parallel to B and C is parallel to D given, and it wants you to prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. And then it'll have stuff like, there'll be stuff everywhere. Okay, so you know right now that AB is parallel, A and B are parallel, C and D are parallel, that's given to you. How can you prove that angle 1 and angle 8 are congruent to each other? So what do you know right now is congruent to angle 1? So angle 14. You can say angle 1 and angle 14 are congruent. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 14. Why are those two congruent?
Alternate exterior. Angle 4 is congruent to angle 14.
No, look at
Or
that.
19.
And angle 8 or close one.
Angle 14 is congruent to angle 8. Why? And then you should be able to get here. The transitive property. Does that seem a little easier? Okay, is that the only way to prove this? No, you could have said 1 and 3 or 1 is congruent to 3. Why? Corresponding. And then connect these two. 3 is congruent to 8. Alternate exterior angles. And then the same thing. 1 is congruent to 8 by the transitive property. So I'm asking you guys to use stuff that we're talking about right now. Alternate interior, alternate exterior. You don't have to do linear pairs, supplementary, all that kind of nonsense. Okay?